Well, let me tell you something, brother.
Snort, snort, snort.
Code. Drip.
Snort, snort.
I got the drip. Go.
By the way, I really feel like this week is the finale week for me to wear this kind of clothing. I've been wearing this kind of clothing since, like, what was it, April, May? And listen, I love wearing cool Hawaiian shirts and nice shorts and everything. I really do. But it has finally cooled down. The weather has turned today. It's nice clouds outside. It's only 79 degrees in my office. It's about time to change my attire, to go into the whole, autumn, winter attire, long sleeve shirts, pullovers, sweaters, actual pants instead of shorts. And that's going to happen very, very soon. So I hope that you guys will, be okay with that. I know people have gotten used to watching me wear this stuff now for a while, and it might be shocking to you. Wait, Phil's going to wear clothes that don't look like he's on the beach? Yeah. I mean, listen, it's like I said, you got to dress how your life is. My life is a party, man. I get to come to stream every day and chill with a bunch of people, enjoy games for a living, and I have a good life. So, I like to wear the attire that reflects that. But, sometimes you got to get more serious. I mean, the holidays are coming right around the corner. So I have to spruce up to look more professional, right? That's right. Plus, what's going to happen is I'm going to hide my muscular body transformation. What I'm going to do is continue to work out over the course of the next, many months. And then in the spring, when it gets warm again, and I change back to this attire, you're going to see my giant, insanely worked, roided arms are going to be rippling out of my shirt. You're going to see I put on 20 pounds of muscle just on my arms alone. It's going to be absolutely remarkable. You guys your jaws are going to drop. But that only is possible if I hide it for the next many months by going long sleeve. That's really the intention of what I'm doing here. That's why, of course, right? In truth, I never had any intention of telling you guys that I was working out. I really didn't. Yeah, if you remember, it happened on a whim. I was wearing one of these shirts, and you guys hated how it looked. So I said, well, if you're going to keep complaining the entire stream, I'm just going to take it off. That way you could stop talking about it. So I did. And then everyone's like, what the hell? Like, why? It looks like you've buffed up. And I'm like, well, yeah, I've been working out for months. So anyway, it's not a big deal to me, but I guess it is to many people on the internet who like to hyperfixate on every single aspect of my life and talk about it and, obsess about it, if you know what I'm saying. So, anyway, good stuff. And I'm excited for fall attire right around the corner sooner rather than later. Like I said, I'm just waiting for it to lock in. Like today, they said there might be some sun, so it might actually get a little bit on the warmer side. But for the most part, it looks like starting Friday, it is full fall weather, 50 degrees all day long, rain and clouds. So probably as of this weekend into next week, I'll be wearing the fall attire full time. So there you go. Have I finished Silk Song? Well, Glimbo, you can answer that question yourself. There's a channel, it's called DSP Gaming. It has all my videos and archives listed there. You could check, you could have easily just taken a look at the playlist and known that, no, I have not beaten it yet. We are in Act 3, and we're having a lot of fun with Act 3. I can't wait for more. Tomorrow, actually, on the main stream. I'm very excited to see where the game goes now in Act 3. Very nice. Dunking on a fan is not what happened. I told a fan how to get their answers for themselves so they don't have to come to me. It's like, so you can just hand someone a fish when they're hungry, or you can teach them how to do it themselves so they don't have to come back to you. You get it? Maybe not. Maybe you're too stupid. I dunked on you. Anyway, so where to begin? Let's start. How about this? Let's quickly talk about the whole DSP tries it thing, because I don't want to talk about it the whole stream. I think we're going to have a lot of time spent on the Halloween nominations, seeing what you guys nominated, looking up to see if these games are viable, where they're available, and then figuring that list out. DSP tries it has been all over the place recently. Allow me to explain. For a couple of, basically I got fed up with fast food for a bit because I kept trying fast food and it wasn't working. Notably, if you remember, the Hot Ones meal at Popeyes was a complete and utter disaster of an episode because they didn't give me the Hot One sauce. Like, how do you sell someone a meal called the Hot Ones meal and not give them the component that makes it called Hot Ones? Pretty stupid, right? So after that, I got fed up. And I said, I think what we should do is stop doing fast food for a bit and do some other stuff. So we did. We actually did Indian food, and then we did Mexican food. Funny enough, the Indian food episode of DSP Tries It did pretty good in the views. It had like 1,400 views or something like that. That's not bad at all for DSP Tries It. That's a pretty good viewer count. But the Mexican episode did not do good. The Mexican episode took like over a week to even reach 1,000 views. So it was very much struggling. I think, again, what people prefer to do is they want to see me taste test something that is something they can get. Because that way, if it's something that I say is good, they can go get it themselves. If it's something that I say is bad, then maybe they could say, okay, I'm going to avoid that. Or they could say, hey, I want to try anyway. If Phil says it's really bad, I wonder if it's actually bad or, some people like to kind of call me on my bluff, as they say, even though I don't know why they would think I'm bluffing about fast food, right? So I came back to fast food now for a couple of episodes. And honestly, been disappointing. First, it was Arby's steak nuggets, and then I actually tried the Reuben sandwich. I tried a chicken sandwich and stuff like that. It just wasn't very good. Very disappointing. I think I like the other stuff at Arby's better. Like just the beef and cheddar is probably the best thing they got, And then yesterday, oh my God. I mean, at this point, I think I might have to just say I'm not eating Taco Bell for like 6 to 8 months. I might actually do that. I might just put my foot down and be like, I don't care what Taco Bell has. I'm just not going to eat there. Because every time I order from my local Taco Bell, it's like unwrapping a stinky sock and then putting it in your mouth. Like, I've had enough of them just sucking ass. It's really bad. Like, first we tried this year's Decades menu. It was awful. And I don't know if it's because they made it poorly or it actually just is awful. And then yesterday we did the Frank's Red Hot menu. It was fucking terrible. First of all, they didn't put enough hot sauce on anything. So how is this the Frank's Red Hot menu if it's not hot? You idiots. You have to put the fucking sauce on the food so it makes it be what it's called. And they're not doing that. I'm eating this chicken wrap and it's just 2 chicken tenders and a bunch of vegetables. Where the fuck is the sauce? It pisses me off. I paid a lot of money for it. I paid $8.50 for the freaking burrito. $8.50 for the burrito. And it's horrible. It's dry. But even worse than that, even worse was definitely the Fritos Flamin' Hot grilled cheese burrito. That's probably one of the worst excuses for food that I have seen in a very long time. First of all, why would you put cheese on the outside of a burrito? The only time you would ever do that, okay, it's what's called a wet burrito. So if you don't know, there's burritos that are meant to be eaten with your hands, like a handheld street food, but there's burritos that are meant to be actual sit-down dinners at a restaurant. When you go to a good Mexican restaurant and you get a wet burrito, what happens is they put this giant burrito on a plate, okay, fresh out of the oven. They coat it with sauce, and then they melt cheese on top, and they give you a fork and knife and say, eat it like this. That's why you would put cheese on the outside of a burrito. You wouldn't do that at Taco Bell where the customer is going to eat it with their hands. So just the design of burrito is just so fucking stupid. Whoever at the company designed it is a complete moron. And the fact that people think this is a good idea just shows the intelligence level of the average American today. Okay? So the design of the burrito is flawed. Then I go to bite into it. First bite, all sour cream. Literally, my entire mouth is just full of sour cream. I could have just taken a spoon and put it into a container of sour cream and eaten it like that. It would have been exactly the same flavor. The next bite is literally all meat, all salty ass seasoned meat, nothing else. The next bite is all sour cream again. As I continue through the burrito, it's all like that. One bite, all corn chips. Then a bite, all rice. So they don't care about the quality of the product they're putting out. They're not saying, oh, it's a burrito. You're supposed to space out the ingredients, mix them, and then wrap. They just say, oh, here we go. Rice, sour cream, meat, wrap, done. So you can't even get an even bite. Imagine if you go to eat a hamburger, okay? You bite into it. The first bite, all tomato. Just a mouthful of tomato. Then your next bite, all pickles. Then your third bite, Oh, all meat with nothing else, so it's dry as shit. That's the equivalent of the burrito I ate yesterday. It's fucking terrible. Guess how much it cost? $8.50. So after yesterday's DSP tries it, I'm at my wit's end. This shit is horrible. It's really atrociously bad. And I want to get something better. Now, I feel like Firehouse Subs is actually a really good business. Every time I've gone there, the food's been outstanding. Okay? The problem is, number one, they're far away, and number two, they're expensive. So I almost never eat Firehouse Subs. Like maybe at most once a year. Okay? Last time I had Firehouse Subs, I think was a year ago. When I did a taste test, I think they had just added like a roasted chicken. So I had the roasted chicken against another one. Okay? So currently, they have a Thanksgiving sub. It is roasted turkey, sliced, with stuffing, cranberry sauce, and gravy. And apparently you can even get like a side of gravy to dip it in. Okay? Which is pretty good. That sounds amazing, right? Might be really tasty. If it's good, I mean, is the turkey good? Is the gravy good? You don't know, right? So to me, that sounds good. Like, that sounds interesting. Maybe that's something good to try. And maybe it's time because I'm just so fed up with this awful food. That sounds good. But I'll be honest with you. Even though this may be a horrible decision, I'm intrigued to try Domino's Pizza. I haven't had Domino's Pizza. The last time I remember eating Domino's Pizza was when I was in Connecticut in 2019. The only reason I ate it is because my wife and I had just touched down from the airport, and it was like midnight, and there was nothing else open. And it was absolutely disgusting. Okay? It was just terrible. And I haven't had it really since. At least if I had it, it was so unnotable, I don't remember. I actually checked the DSP Tries It archives, and we haven't done an episode of it in a million years. So this could be good. Trying out their stuffed crust, trying out other pizzas and or a side might be a good thing that I haven't done for a while. You know, it's kind of like when I went back to Little Caesars and I was shocked. I was like, wow, bang for the dollar was actually, it was terrible quality, but the food was a lot of value for the money that you pay for it, and the food doesn't taste bad. It's just bad for you. So I might try it. But here's the thing. I want to know, okay? What do you guys think I should do next for DSP Tries It? All right? I want feedback right now. Do you know of anything going on at a restaurant that I should be aware of? Some special promotion, a seasonal thing? I want feedback because I don't want to just do what I'm doing and then people are like, oh, we didn't want that because you skipped this. And a lot of the times you guys are way more aware of what things that I should do than I am because you know more than me about this new stuff that's popping up. All right? Get a smothered burrito. I just had Taco Bell. I'm not getting Mexican again. Plus, we had Mexican too. So I'm not doing that again. That would be too repetitive. The Burger King Halloween menu, Mateo, is not a Halloween menu. Here's the Burger King Halloween menu. An orange-colored bun, a box that looks like a mummy, nuggets that are shaped like fangs, and bats. I'm not kidding. That's the menu. There's nothing new. It's exactly the same items you normally would buy. They just slightly packaged them differently or presented them differently, and they're acting like it's a menu. It's exactly the same food. So I'm not doing that. There's a waste of everybody's time. Okay. Sadly, there's no good Italian around. I would love to do Italian food. There is no good Italian near me whatsoever. So that's why I never do Italian food. We already did the Rock wood-fired pizza a couple of times, actually, over the years. That's one of the places that if my wife and I are craving pizza, we actually get it from the Rock because at the Rock, it is a wood-fire oven they use. So you get some char on the pizza. The dough is quite tasty. It's handmade. It's pretty good. It's certainly not authentic Italian pizza, but it's much better than any of the other shitty fast food places or even local chains out here. It's much better than all of that. So we do that, but we've already done that a couple of times. Subway has a new meal deal. Well, I regret to inform you, I have absolutely sworn off Subway, and I'm never eating Subway ever again in my life. I've already declared this. After we did that DSP Tries It of Subway earlier in the year, that was arguably one of the worst things I've ever eaten in my life. It was so toxic. I think if I ate that thing, I would have got sick. I'm never eating there again. I swore it off. I don't care. If literally, all right, if I was stranded in the wilderness for a month and all I was eating was bugs and dirt. And I crawled out of the wilderness, all right? And I looked up on my hands and knees. I'm malnourished. I'm skinny. I'm a living skeleton. I need to eat right away, all right? And I look up, and oh my God, I've crawled up to the doorstep, to the front door of a Subway. And on top of that, it says in big lights, free sub day at Subway. Okay? I would immediately just choke myself to death and off myself because I want to prevent my body from just, you know, on an instinct of survival going in there and eating a Subway sandwich. I'm never doing it ever again. It was so bad. I am seriously never eating there ever again. Obviously, I'm joking. No, I would not kill myself. That was a joke. Okay, don't take it seriously. People will be like, oh my God. But that was so bad, I would not subject myself to, or my body to that ever again, nor do I recommend that anyone ever subject themselves ever again to Subway in history. They should actually just close every single Subway store on the planet immediately, and it would do humanity a service. The food is fucking terrible. Now, hold on a second. Don Juan says, get the Philly cheesesteak there. You said you used to love it. I never said I used to love it. That's a complete lie. What I said was, in the 2000s, when I was poor, all right, I would do a 5-5-5 deal at Domino's, where you'd be 3 medium pizzas, 3 medium pizzas, unlimited toppings on each for $5 each. And I would order that deal, and I would get something like the Philly cheesesteak pizza, the pizza with the works, and then like either like a heavy meats or something. And then I would literally eat pizza for 3-4 days. Breakfast, piece of pizza. Lunch, 2 pieces of pizza. Dinner, pizza. Next day, pizza. And I would just keep eating the different flavors until it was all gone. And that was all I ate for like 3 days. Of course, insanely unhealthy, absolutely disgusting. But that's what I did when I was poor. I also used to work at Best Buy, and I would drive to Best Buy in the morning before my shift, and I would get the $1 double cheeseburger, the $1 McChicken, and the $1 drink. And I would literally eat the double cheeseburger, the McChicken, and a drink. It would be like $3 and change. That was my meal. And then I would go to work, and then after my work, I would go back to McDonald's, and I would have like chicken nuggets. You know what I'm saying? Like all the cheap stuff. That's all I would eat. That's what I ate for like 2 years of my life when I was poor. And you wonder why I got fat at one point, huh? I think we know why, right? But thankfully, I don't have to do that shit anymore. I'm in a much better place in my life, so good stuff. Now, let's get some support. We have 0 support right now. 0. Let's get some super chats. Let's get some memberships. Let's get some subs. Let's get some kicks. And let's get some tips to get to this goal. We got to get going now. We did not hit the goal last night for Ninja Gaiden 4. And that's the fault of myself and the game developers, both. Because I'll tell you why. It's right in line with what I've been saying. Are you ready for this? My viewers who actually like me. I'm not talking about the hate watchers. I'm not talking about the people who watch me on other channels who like to clip farm. I'm talking about the people who actually come by, watch my content right here on my own channels and support my channels, okay? They no longer want to see me rage and endlessly get frustrated at games. I've now reached the point in my life and my career that people have actually said, we just want to chill. We want to relax with Phil. If we just have a night where we talk for the whole night, that's a great night. That's why American Truck Simulator has remained a great staple of my content for over 6 months now, is because people just want to relax with me. They just want to have a good time. Games that give me the opportunity to talk with you in between the gameplay segments are always doing way better than games where I have to be insanely focused on the game at all times. I don't have time to read chat. I don't have time to shout stuff out. I'm just sitting here playing like this. People want to hang out. And I get that. And I think as I get older, that's exactly what's going to happen is people are going to want to hang out more. They're going to want to talk about topics more. They're going to want to get my opinion on stuff and have a conversation rather than just play the game. And that's okay. And I want you to understand, definitely, okay? I want you to understand that doesn't mean that game's going away. Gaming is not going away. I love gaming. It's the core of my content. It will remain. But that does not mean that I can't also do other things or change the kind of things that I do around to what you guys want. Okay? Case in point, here's actually King Ferbs just made a great point in chat. He says, it shows you do have to ask for support because when you don't ask, you don't get anything, and that's what happened last night. Okay, let me explain what happened last night with Ninja Gaiden 4. And by the way, thank you. I Love Work just did 100 kicks. That's the first contribution to the stream. Thank you, I Love Work. That's our first kicks of the day. Can we get our first sub of the day right now? Can we get our first super chat of the day? And can we get our first member of the day and our first tip? Let's get one of everything right now. Seriously. And then we'll get that momentum going so we can get towards our goal today. Okay? Let's go. Let's get some support all around, shall we? Okay. So what happened last night? Your future stepdad, thank you for the first sub of the day. Here's what happened last night. The first hour of Ninja Gaiden 4, people are intrigued because it's a brand new game. They want to see if the game is any good. And I'm actually happy that earlier in this year, I played Ninja Gaiden 2 Black because it gave me a big frame of reference. If I hadn't played 2 Black, I probably wouldn't have known some of the mechanics and things in this game. So I'm happy that I have. Okay? Now, I start playing the game, and everyone's engaged, interested. We're all talking about the game together. We're having a good time. Whole first hour goes incredibly well. First hour, I raise over $100. Everyone's enjoying themselves. Then only about an hour in, inexplicably, the game presents a challenge room / optional objective area before you have even gotten all of your combat abilities. Okay? So the stupid part about this is there's no reason for this room to exist yet, because it's not representative of the rest of the game. Later on in the game, you're going to have other abilities, so why do the challenge room now? All it's going to do is expose some flaws in the game's combat, because you're playing it too early, you see? So I go into this challenge room, and immediately I find a whole bunch of problems with the game engine. Number one, the auto-targeting doesn't work right. Half the time when you try to attack an enemy, the ninja, I forget his name, it's not Ryu anymore, they changed his name, it's a new character, he attacks the wrong way. So you have all these attacks that are supposed to like do crowd control, but half the time when you do them, you run the opposite direction of the enemies. Well, why is it doing that? I didn't make the game. Could you have the targeting work a little better? It's a challenge room. I have all these abilities I unlocked. Can someone actually like make the ninja hit the fucking enemies? Because it's not me. I didn't program it. Okay, that's number one. Number two, the one new thing that they have added to the gameplay is a super armor mechanic, where instead of you just being able to endlessly do free-flowing combos, sometimes when you're attacking enemies, an enemy will have super armor. So now you have to hold down a trigger and press a button to charge your sword and do a super like strike that breaks through the armor. Then you can do the combo to them. The problem is this is incredibly slow. So every time you do it, basically you're stopping your free-flowing combat and you're just leaving yourself wide open to attack. Okay? Now, maybe there is a way to fix that. I don't know. But early in the game, there's not. You're in this challenge room and you're trying to kill a whole bunch of enemies in every direction. And then you go to do this to stop the super armor and every enemy just gangbangs you. They all just jump on top of you and start punching you from every direction. Huh? These guys come up with spears and they start swinging super armor attacks. Okay, let me dodge one. 3 more come up behind you and start beating the shit out of you because what do you want me to do? I just started. I don't have all the abilities yet. So the challenge room is flawed. It's actually a stupid pain in the ass. So it took me, no exaggeration, over 30 minutes of raging at this room until I finally beat it. Okay? What was the reward? Oh, a little bit of the upgrade currency. So not worth it at all. Complete waste of your time. So it's a huge game flaw. They screwed that up. They totally shouldn't have had that early in the game. But here's what happened. Since I'm so focused on this challenge room and trying to beat it, and I'm just keep restarting it, okay? I basically completely turned away the audience. I wasn't interacting. I certainly wasn't being positive. I wasn't enjoying myself. What happened is I raged. So what happens when I rage is all of my trolls and clip farmers clip farm it and say, we got content today, hooray. And all of my actual positive supporters and viewers say, this sucks, and they leave. The attendance massively went down while I was in this challenge room. And by the time that I beat it, I only had 10 minutes left on the stream. So now I couldn't even finish the first stage, the first chapter, because the challenge room took up all my time. Hence, don't put a fucking challenge room on stage 1 when it's not capable of being really done because you don't have your abilities yet. It's horrible game design. So then I went to the end of the stage. I ran out of time. I said, well, guys, I'm sorry. I can't beat this. And people were upset. And rightfully so. Why wouldn't you be? You came here to see the beginning of the game and you only got to see, you know, the intro and part of chapter 1 on the first night stream. I'd be upset too. I got absolutely no support the second half of the stream. 0. So I ended the night at $115 of support, and I got 110 of it within the first hour and $5 for the whole second hour. Can I blame the audience? No, absolutely not. I blame myself for getting too focused on that stupid challenge room, and I blame the game developers for fucking putting it there like idiots. It never should have been there, especially with the flaws in the combat of this game. They should have waited and put it in later when you have more abilities and things unlocked that make it more, you know, feasible. So that sucked. Now, the thing is, I'm not going to ditch Ninja Gaiden 4 simply because this happened, okay? I'm going to play it again tomorrow night. I am. I want to continue, or tonight, excuse me. We're going to play it as the late stream tonight, and we're going to see how it does, and hopefully it does well, all right? And I will focus mostly on story advancement. If I do happen to find another challenge room, I'll tell you this, I'll just try to do it without any of the crazy modifiers to give you more rewards. Like, I'll just do 100% health, just try to beat it legit, and go from there. And hopefully we can get through them, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work, and I'll just say, well, screw it, and we'll just continue with the story. All right? I don't want this playthrough to be ruined simply because the optional content is too fucking annoying and it's not entertaining for you or me. All right? So let's go tonight on a second stream. Let's see if we can make it work, and hopefully we will, and hopefully it'll be fun. But I apologize for last night. Yes, I absolutely should not have gotten so focused on that stupid room to waste for like 40 minutes of the stream. Pissed me off, pissed you off. I get it. We were all having a good time, and then I kind of blew it with that stupid, you know, the way I reacted to that, okay? But now, please, let's get some support. Let's hopefully have a good day today. Let's hit those goals on both streams. For Mario Galaxy 2 right now, for Ninja Gaiden 4 tonight. Let's get some support rolling and some momentum going so that we can get working towards the Domino's Pizza. DSP tries it next week. Because in reality, I do not think that we're going to hit 10 goals between now and the end of Thursday. I don't think that's going to happen. Someone tipped $1 just to say, yeah, but you made over $100 in 2 hours. You're right. You notice I didn't say, oh my God, what a disaster stream, how horrible, and I'm dropping the game. I didn't say that. I have a goal. My goal is 150 a stream. I want to hit my goals because that's called success. I feel like last night was a decent stream, but I wanted to hit the goal, and it did not hit it because of the actions of my bad choice to do that challenge room for 40 minutes and the bad choice of the developers to put that fucking challenge room that early in the game when you don't even have all your abilities yet. It's the fault of both. It's, you know, I made the choice, but man, they could have done that a lot better, and it needs to be called out honestly. That was stupid. That was very bad choice by them. So, Abdullah says, you really look like Bill Murray, the actor. It's weird. I think that sometimes I think maybe I look a little bit like Bill Murray, and sometimes I think I look like Dan Aykroyd. Because I have a humongous fucking forehead, and I have a receding hairline. Both of them kind of have that. It's weird. It's very odd, because when I was a kid, I didn't think I looked anything like the Ghostbusters at all. And now I look like 2 of them. All right, and please, let's get some support. We're at $35 of support so far. Can we get some more support? And we want to hit that goal. Definitely we want to hit the goal today. I didn't hit it last night for Ninja Gaiden 4. That's my fault. I take the blame for that with the challenge room fiasco. All right? Let's hit the goal for Mario Galaxy 2. Let's hit the goal tonight for Ninja Gaiden. Let's keep hitting goals and crushing it so we can do DSP Tries It, Domino's Pizza, as soon as possible. Let's go. And by the way, there is a free episode of DSP Tries It taking place during the Halloween Marathon where I'll be trying out 2 holiday-themed treats. Okay? 2 treats. Free episode of DSP Tries It. No support needed for that one. It'll be happening during the Halloween Marathon, guarantee. Okay? Sanguine Alchemy is asking a question that has been asked before. I'll address it since people bring this up from time to time. Why is your goal the same on both day and night streams when one of them is 5 hours, the other is only 2? Shouldn't it scale based on the length of the stream? No, because this is not an hourly rate job. Just because I'm here 5 hours versus 2.5 hours doesn't mean that I expect to make more or less per hour. People show up and support what they like. Okay? If you like Mario Galaxy 2, you'll show up to the Mario Galaxy 2 stream and support it, whether it's 5 hours long or 2 hours long. You'll still be there to support it, right? So it doesn't matter how long the stream is. It doesn't affect anything at all, quite frankly. Usually I put streams on the day stream that are longer games because I know that I want to try to beat them at a more rapid pace. And I know if I don't put those games on the day stream, I'll never beat them at all. But no, that's, what do you mean bait devoured? So he says bait devoured. I'm answering your honest question. How is that bait devoured? Are you retarded? You are retarded. Oh, okay. That's not bait. Bait is like, if you ask me a question and you think you're going to somehow get something out of me that's going to like get me to rage or to get an answer out of me that you didn't know before and you, oh, oops, I didn't mean to say that. This is a question I've answered time and time again. It's not a big deal. That's not bait, you incredible idiot. You don't even understand the premise of what you're saying. You're so dumb. It really does baffle me that people actually think that, like, you know what I'm saying? That, wow, I got him, but you didn't. You're just an idiot. Like, what are you even talking about? Me, and then they're like, oh, see, we got him to react. Yes, but you understand that me calling you an idiot because you are isn't like you got me. That's me showing the world you're an idiot. You lost that transaction, not me. But they're that dumb, they don't get it. They just prove their mental retardation when they act like that. Will I ever disclose why I canceled the Mike Klum documentary? I already did. I already explained it fully to you. At the time, I didn't think it was right. It was going to be too much of an investment of time, stress, effort, and taking time away from me working to do this documentary without any guarantee that it was going to concretely help me in any way. Very well, I could have put out this documentary and it did absolutely nothing for me or my family or business, so why bother? And if I put that amount of time into it, I want to have a guaranteed benefit from it, right? It wasn't like, oh, so he's going to do this documentary and he's guaranteed he's going to be paid for all of his time as if he's an actor, you know what I'm saying, actually working on like a movie. It was just a documentary being made by me. Gee, hope this benefits you. So what was the point of that, right? It just wasn't worth it, okay? And quite frankly, it was an amazingly good decision because take a look at what's happened now in the last 2 years, right? Seriously, if I had done that documentary and it went the wrong way, things could have went completely differently than how they just did. And now things are in a very good place for me. So I'm happy that things have gone the way that they did. I actually made, for the first time probably in a very long time, I made a very good series of decisions in a row that actually set me up for success. Thankfully, I didn't blow it. I didn't screw anything up horribly, and things are going good now. Yeah, I mean, so some people are saying different things. People are saying he was working on that EDP documentary. Yeah, but that was like 1.5 years ago. Like, remember, I dropped out of doing the documentary, and then within like a month of me dropping out, the word leaked on the internet that apparently he was working on an EDP documentary, and I was like, whoo! Because let me tell you, I don't want to be sandwiched between Boogie and EDP. In any circumstance, in any way, shape, or form, in any even phrasing, you know what I'm saying? I would never want to find myself between those two men. So, I'm very happy that I did drop out, okay? But again, that was 1.5 years plus ago. You know what I'm saying? And that is true. Someone just said, well, you know, Boogie turned out looking so bad from his documentary, maybe no one wants to work with this guy. That was one of my major concerns. That's what I tried to explain to Mike during that whole deal was, I don't want my documentary to be like Boogie's. Boogie's documentary is literally a pity party, woe is me documentary. Feel bad for me, right? Because of all these things. But at the same time, you know, he gets exposed for doing all these bad things over time. So he ends up being like not really a pitiable figure, but more just like a miserable wretch kind of a figure in his documentary. And a lot of people watched it and were like, wow, it's fascinating to watch, but you don't feel like you don't like Boogie anymore after having watched it. Some people actually like, no, this has actually made him look even worse, right? And that's what I tried to explain to Mike is like, there's no point in me doing a documentary like that. I have nothing to gain from it. I'm not at the end of my rope. My business is successful. I'm doing fine. I would want this to be a way to boost myself and my business. So our documentary was going to be a completely different kind of documentary. 100%. No, and that's the truth. Documentaries are not about whitewashing someone's past. That's not what the intention is. The intention is, listen, everyone knows my past. It's literally out there. Everyone already knows everything about it. So you've already made your decisions on if you like or dislike me, but no one really sees the real me. All they see is me through the lens of detractors, right? So the documentary, the point was to try to see the real me on a daily basis, what it's like to be me, what it's like to have my life, to work like I do, you know, to have this constant negative stuff going on and just ignoring it and pushing forward, you know, with my own way and just saying, fuck these people, you know? But in truth, I don't care about that. I just want to do my own thing. And I don't think that it would have helped me at all. Honestly, to be honest, I don't think a documentary like that would have helped anything. I think it would have been just more ammo for idiots to take from and say more horrible things because they don't care about the truth of the situation. Even if I portrayed the truth in the documentary, they don't want the truth. They want their own narrative so they can keep perpetuating the lie so they can keep making content. It's a content farm for them. So to them, anything that looks good about me, they ignore or they write off or they say it's a lie. And anything that looks bad about me, they extrapolate, they exaggerate, they go crazy for. So why give them anything more? Okay, so guys, last chance if you want to ask me a question or if you want to contribute and get a shout out. We're just about to a third of the goal. All right. Can we get to a third of the goal? Can we get to $50 right now before we end the podcast? And then we'll have $100 to go to get while I play Mario. That'd be great if we could. Yeah. Bean says an old FGC DSP documentary would be awesome. Like Daigo, Gutex, and Mike Ross have. What's hilarious is you just named 3 people, one of which has been around in the FGC as long as me, 2 of which not even close. Gutex and Mike Ross were not a presence in the FGC until Street Fighter 4 came out. I was there in the grassroots movement of Street Fighter to begin with. I was there the day it came out in American arcades. I was playing in tournaments since the late 90s. I was traveling and being a top player the entire first half of the 2000s. And then I was a tournament organizer after that. There's a way more to cover with me. What the fuck are you covering with Mike Ross and Gutex? That they sat there playing Street Fighter 4 in tournaments and on a couch and made videos of it? Woohoo! What nice documentary. There's way more to say about the old grassroots days of the FGC. The problem is the new guard don't care because they've only been around since Street Fighter 4, so they don't even care about the past because it doesn't affect them. They feel like that was an old day they weren't involved in. And to be quite frank with you, no one recorded anything. There was no, it wasn't common to bring a camcorder with you to go anywhere. So there was maybe 1 or 2 people tops who ever recorded fighting game tournaments back in the day. And I don't even know if they're still around and if they would be willing to share their archives. Like there was this one guy from the Northeast United States. His name was David Spence. He was a Super Turbo player. He literally would record every major East Coast tournament. He would go there with his camcorder and he would document it. The thing is, they were like his own personal records. Like he never gave them out. He didn't digitize them and put them on the internet. They were just for him. So if anyone ever found that guy, maybe they could offer him like $5,000 to buy his entire library of tapes and they could digitize and they could completely become a historical documentarian of the FGC back in the day in its grassroots days. But it doesn't exist. You see what I'm saying? Like all you could do is piece together things that of an old FGC via hearsay, interviews and things. There's not even, what are you going to do? Show an IRC chat room from 2003? How? No one archived that shit. You see what I'm saying? So it's impossible to really recreate those days because no one knew there'd be interest in it. Now, who knew that fighting games would blow up and become part of esports leagues and be, big business? No one knew that back in the day. So no one basically documented anything.
I got the drip going. 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 I got the drip going.
It's like a faucet that's dripping. You can't make it stop.
So what do you want me to do? Have a mute button that every second I'm tapping the mute button just in case I'm gonna have to clear? Like, this is what I mean, these dumb kids. This is what it is, it's dumb kids.